The psychology behind why you never feel at home anywhere. You can sit in a room full of people and still feel like you don't belong there, not rejected, not unwelcome, just slightly out of place, like you're visiting a life that isn't fully yours. And no matter where you go, that feeling quietly follows. So the question is, why does your mind never let you feel at home? It shows up in small moments. You move to a new place, hoping this time will be different. At first, everything feels fresh, promising, but slowly, the same distance creeps back in. You start noticing it again, the subtle sense that you're not fully inside your own life. In conversations, you're present, but also observing yourself being present, like you're split into two versions, the one living and the one watching. This affects more than just comfort. It changes how you make decisions. You hesitate longer. You question your instincts. It shapes relationships. You care deeply, but hold something back you can't quite explain. And over time, it becomes part of your identity. I'm just someone who never really settles. I don't belong anywhere. But that explanation is incomplete because this pattern isn't random. It's psychological. And more importantly, it's learned, which means it had a reason to form in the first place. What if this feeling isn't a flaw? What if it's actually a strategy your mind built, a way to protect you, not isolate you? Because the brain doesn't create patterns without purpose, especially not ones that stay this consistent over time. In psychology, persistent feelings like this are often tied to something deeper, your internal sense of safety, not physical safety, but emotional safety, the kind that lets you relax into a place without scanning for what might go wrong. If that sense of safety wasn't stable earlier in life, your brain adapts. It learns to stay slightly detached, slightly ready to move, not because you're broken, but because at some point, being fully at home didn't feel safe. And that changes everything, because now the question isn't, why can't I belong? It becomes, why does my brain resist settling? To understand this, imagine your brain as a security system. Its job isn't happiness. It's prediction and protection, and it learns through patterns. If your early experiences taught your brain that environments can change suddenly, that relationships can shift, or that comfort doesn't last, your brain encodes one core belief. Don't get too comfortable. This isn't conscious. It's automatic. In neuroscience, this connects to how the amygdala and hippocampus work together. The amygdala scans for emotional risk. The hippocampus stores contextual memory. When certain patterns repeat, your brain builds a predictive model of the world, a mental shortcut. So instead of asking, is this place safe? It assumes safety is temporary. That assumption creates a subtle but constant tension, not enough to panic, but enough to prevent full relaxation. Here's a simple mental model, the unpacked suitcase. Even when you arrive somewhere new, a part of you never fully unpacks. You keep things ready, just in case. That just in case becomes your default state. And over time, it starts to feel like your personality. But it's not. It's a prediction loop. Your brain expects disconnection, so it creates distance before it happens, which leads to a deeper question. Can you teach your brain that it's safe to stay? This isn't about forcing yourself to feel at home. That doesn't work, because the brain doesn't respond to commands. It responds to evidence. So the goal is simple. Give your brain new evidence. Here's how. 1. Create micro-settling moments. What to do. Choose small, repeatable rituals in one place. Same seat, same cafe, same evening walk. Why it works. The brain builds safety through predictability. Repeated environments reduce amygdala activity and increase familiarity signals. Example, instead of exploring new places constantly, you sit in the same quiet corner every evening. At first, nothing changes. But after a few days, your body starts relaxing faster when you arrive. That's your brain updating its model. 2. Stop over-observing yourself. What to do? When you notice yourself watching yourself, gently return to the moment. Focus on physical sensations. Why it works. This pattern is linked to self-monitoring overload, often tied to social anxiety and detachment. Grounding shifts activity from abstract self-awareness to sensory processing. Example, in a conversation, instead of thinking, how am I coming across? You notice the warmth of the cup in your hand, the tone of the other person's voice. You move from observer back to participant. 3. Allowing complete belonging. What to do? Stop waiting to feel 100% at home before engaging fully. Why it works. The brain often uses all or nothing thinking, but belonging is gradual, not absolute. By acting before certainty, you interrupt avoidance loops. Example, you join a group activity, even if you feel slightly out of place, not to force connection, but to stay long enough for familiarity to grow. 4. Track emotional consistency, not intensity. What to do? Pay attention to environments where your mood is stable, not necessarily exciting. Why it works. The brain confuses intensity with meaning, but safety is built through consistency, not emotional highs. Example, a quiet library might feel boring, but your mind is calm there. That calm is data, and your brain needs that data more than excitement. 5. Name the pattern when it happens. What to do? When the feeling appears, label it, this is my brain expecting disconnection. Why it works. This uses a technique from cognitive psychology called effect labeling. Naming a feeling reduces amygdala activation. Example, instead of thinking, I don't belong here, you think, my brain is running an old prediction. That small shift creates distance from the pattern without fighting it. All of this comes back to one idea. You don't feel at home because your brain never learned that staying is safe. So it keeps you slightly ready to leave. But here's the shift. You don't need to find the perfect place. You need to train your nervous system to recognize safety, not through big changes, but through repeated, quiet evidence. Think of it like teaching your brain a new language. At first, it doesn't understand. Then it starts recognizing patterns. And eventually, it stops translating everything as a threat. Maybe you were never meant to feel instantly at home. Maybe your mind just learned to take longer. And that's not a flaw. It's a history. But histories can be updated, not erased, not forced, just gently rewritten. So the next time that feeling shows up, that quiet distance, that subtle detachment, don't rush to fix it. Just notice it. Because that moment might not be proof that you don't belong. It might be the exact place where belonging begins.